Ernest Hemingway, Nobel Prize winner, one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. He gave us The Old Man and the Sea, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and a writing style so stripped back it changed how the English language sounds on the page. He drove ambulances in the First World War, survived 2 plane crashes in 2 consecutive days, run with bulls in Pamplona, hunted big game in Africa, caught marlin off the coast of Cuba, and kept a house full of 6-toed cats. He also had 4 wives and a cocktail named after him. In short, he led a maximalist life, and his approach to food was no different. Hemingway's personal hamburger recipe, found in the archives of the JFK Presidential Library, is packed with over a dozen ingredients. His wife married and scrawled her own additions in the margins, and today I'm making both versions. This is Hemming. 2 ways. Okay, let's make some burgers. And we're going to start off by making the base patty. The patty the way Hemingway typed it. Patty numero uno, aka the Papa Burger. At least that's what I'm calling it. Now, this recipe called for some things I could not get my hands on and frankly I'd never heard of.
Thus, no. Spake, no. Zarathustra, nope.
But were quite easy to make from scratch, starting with beau monde. Le beau monde? Which is just 1 part celery seed, I'm crushing mine a bit, 1 part onion powder, 2 parts fine salt, and a pinch of sugar. And that's le beau monde.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
Anyway, next let's tackle the mi yen, which is technically 9 parts sugar, 9 parts salt, and 2 parts MSG. I only did half the amount. That's 4.5 teaspoons of salt, 4.5 teaspoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon MSG. Because what the f*** am I going to do with all that mi yen? Mi yen? And the final addition to the list of impossible to get ingredients is Indian relish, which is a sweet and tangy chutney type thing. And for this I didn't bother recreating it, I just substituted it with piccalilli. Okay, next. Onto the regular ingredients. 2 finely chopped green onions, 2 crushed or minced cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of capers, roughly chopped, and 1 large beaten egg, plus 1 tablespoon of sage, and a 1/3 cup of white wine. Okay, we're ready for the meat. The recipe calls for the burger to be pink and juicy in the middle, which means we need to mince the meat ourselves just before cooking to ensure it's safe to eat. Pre-packed supermarket mince combines meats from lots of different animals, and any bacteria from the surface of those cuts gets mixed all the way through during grinding, so the only way to kill it is to cook it all the way through. In short, pre-packed mince, eaten pink, pretty much guarantees code brown.
We have a code brown situation.
If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
Honey, the tortilla chips know what you mean.
Anyway, we're going to be working with 650 grams of chuck steak, which is the most popular cut for hamburgers. First, cut that into smallish pieces. Then mince those pieces, and mince them good. Now, let's bring it all together, just the way Hemingway described it. First, break up the meat with a fork. Scatter garlic, green onions, and dry seasonings. That's sage, beau monde sub, and mi yen sub over the meat. Mix with a fork or your fingers. Let the bowl sit at room temperature for 10 to 15 minutes while you set the table. Or not. Then add the piccalilli, capers, egg, and wine. Let it sit for another 10 minutes, quietly marinating. And voila! On to patty number 2, numero dos, aka the Wild West Burger. Now, this burger essentially uses patty 1 as the base, but with some interesting additions suggested by Hemingway's wife. So, for this patty, we're additionally going to be preparing a 1/4 of apple, grated, 1 small grated carrot, 3 chopped cherry tomatoes, a slice of ham chopped, 40 grams of grated cheddar, and a bunch of fresh parsley finely chopped. And that's it. Add all of those into the meat mixture and combine until evenly spread throughout the meat. But to be honest, at this point it's about a 1-to-1 ratio of meat to other ingredients. And that's pretty much the prep for patty number 2. Okay, we've got our 2 versions, now let's form those into patties. If we're making them the way Hemingway liked, fat and juicy, then we've got enough mixture here to make 2 of each, or 4 altogether. Shape those and flatten until they're roughly an inch thick. Then move over to the hob, because we're ready for some cooking. Heat oil in a frying pan, hot but not smoking. Drop patties in. Turn heat down, fry for 4 minutes, take pan off burner, turn heat high. Flip burgers. Put pan back on hot fire, 1 minute, then turn heat down and cook another 3 minutes. Got it? Both sides should be crispy brown, middle pink and juicy, which they certainly are, and shazam, it's time to build. Now, the recipe doesn't mention any toppings, so I'm going to be taking some creative license here and building my burgers with the kind of stuff I like, starting with a burger sauce, made from 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of mustard, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a tablespoon of pickle juice to thin it out. Spread that sauce onto a toasted bun, follow with gherkins, lettuce, sliced tomato and onion. Then on goes the patty, topped with American cheese. I popped this on the patty while it rested to let it melt a little. Then on with the burger lid, another toasted bun, lathered with sauce, and we're done. You might have noticed that I put my toppings at the bottom-ings. I just find that when it comes to eating the burger, toppings at the bottom tend to fall out less. It's a personal preference thing, don't come for me. Because the original recipe didn't mention any toppings, in the name of historical accuracy, I've also built 2 burgers with no toppings whatsoever, Ron Swanson style.
It's a hamburger made out of meat on a bun with nothing.
Although far from his philosophy, given that Papa's favorite contains 10 ingredients and the Wild West contains as many as 16. Enough talking, I'm hungry. Let's start with the unadorned burgers, a bite each of Papa's favorite and Wild West. And I hope I can do a better job than the McDonald's CEO.
It's a delicious product.
Wow, a lot going on. Unsurprisingly very moist. Definitely getting a lot of garlic and slight acidity from the wine, but in a nice way. All the extra ingredients in the Wild West are not actually adding that much flavor, just more body and moisture. Overall, it's just a very confused burger. Just random bits of ham, like what's going on? But feels like we're missing something. That's right, let's try the decorated versions. And wow, yeah, that's much, much better. Sorry, Swanson. I think my favorite is the Papa's burger with all of the toppings. But is it better than a traditional burger? And is it worth all that extra effort? No, it isn't. If you want to recreate any of the recipes seen in these videos, head over to my website, link in the description. Like and subscribe.